Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Osayome Saleh, and today I'm joined by my amazing co-anchor, Isia Fodele, live with me in studio. Somebody else again has we're supposed to have Jennifer on Zoom. I don't know if she's there yet, but I'm trying to be happy today.
Because of the topic.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay happy. I don't want to be depressed like yesterday.
Look, there's no time you talk about Nigeria that you don't end up getting depressed because of the situation we found ourselves. I just hope it doesn't degenerate to the level of Afghanistan. That's essential.
All right, tonight we're talking security. We're asking how safe is your neighborhood and how safe are you? You know, if you really pay attention to all the things that have been happening around Nigeria. I mean, everybody's okay for them to say, oh, it's happening in Plateau State, it's not happening in Lagos and all of that. But truly, if you look at truly examine your environment, your neighborhood, you know, do you really trust that you are safe? You know, that's the conversation we're going to be having tonight. And here's what we found as today's quote: safety and security don't just happen. They are the result of collective consensus and public investment. We owe our children, the most vulnerable citizens in our society, a life free of violence and fear. This is a quote from Nelson Mandela, and I think we've had this quote before, but I just thought to bring it back because it's so important that we protect the most vulnerable around us, you know, and these are always ever the victims of some of these insecurity that we're faced with in the country. All right, so insecurity has become the conversation you hear in virtually everywhere. 2 or 3 Nigerians are gathered. You know, instead of them praying, they're talking about Nigeria and insecurity.
State of the nation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our ladies' night out, and as I mentioned earlier, Uti, EC, Jennifer, and I, we are asking how safe is your neighborhood? As we pick up from where we left off yesterday on security, and when we open our phone lines, we really love to hear what you have to say. But first, we'll take a break to see what we found in the news.
Are you ready to party right from the comfort of your TV screen? The Rundown's here to save the day. From freshly baked videos to the classics to the youngins and dope conversations, all in one chart. We got you covered. Just tune in to The Rundown every Friday, 10:30 p.m. West African time. The Rundown. Let's turn it up.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
You're still watching Ways, so we have Uti in the building, and we have Jennifer, baby. I've missed My Jennifer baby. We can't wait to have her back in Lagos.
But
Jennifer, how you doing? Like really,
Make
she's
money.
working.
Uh-huh.
Jennifer.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
How are you? How have you
I've
been?
missed everyone. I've been
Hi,
good.
Jennifer.
Hi.
We've really missed you.
We can't wait to have you back.
I need to come back.
I'm starting to forget what you look like.
This Zoom thing is not working for me.
I feel you. It's not working for us either.
Well, how is your day though?
Yeah, my day was fine. My day was fine. I had to take them out to rest because I had a very busy day yesterday. Well, we thank God. We thank
Awesome.
God.
How about you, Uzi? How was your day?
Busy. My alarm, my battery, my phone went off. I forgot to charge it overnight. So I got a call like 9 o'clock in the morning. My boss had to call my nanny to say, I've been sending her messages. Where is she? So I woke up.
For real.
I rolled into my laptop and I was there till I rolled into the studio. So
Wow.
it's been a busy day, but quite a productive day actually. I've gotten quite a bit done. So good.
Fantastic. All right, so this day is for you, all of you. National Toilet Paper Day. Is observed each year on August 26th. The essential item, or this essential item, is used by most people across the globe. One of the times we realize the importance of this often overlooked item is when we enter a public restroom and realize there is no toilet paper. Now, not long ago, toilet paper used to come in multiple colors. Now, many more countries are also using toilet paper along with bidet. Now, we don't know yet who created National Toilet Paper Day, but they surely deserve a short or a small shout out. Yes, let's give them a small shout out for dedicating a day to honoring this humble yet important invention that is on the shopping list for many trips to the supermarket. So, National Toilet Paper Day. Here you go.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Do you not see what happened during COVID when people were stacking toilet paper, like just buying rolls and rolls and rolls? I'm thinking, okay, this is very important.
Like you are so pressed, you're rushing. You just get there, no tissue paper.
No tissue.
You just this will just go back in.
you have to have it everywhere in your house. Every part of your house has a roll lurking somewhere.
And tissue also. I think they also, the fact that they also invented the kitchen toilet paper is also very important.
Yeah,
the
kitchen roll.
Kitchen roll, not kitchen toilet paper. The kitchen paper,
towel.
it's very important as
really
well to
handy.
take into cognizance. So it's not just about the toilet paper. We also have the kitchen paper.
How are you, Jennifer? You want to say something on National Toilet Paper Day?
I honestly, I did not know that there was a national toilet.
Well, it's not for
paper day.
Nigeria though. It's in the US, but it's fine.
Of course. But yeah, I think I remember that lockdown period we were just packing up tissue paper. It was really weird to me. I was like, if you pack everything, what will other people use? And we all know that there are people that don't like using water. So like, come on.
But you know the funny thing?
About it.
The funny thing is that I can't do either. I
You need
have to do
both.
both. I do water and tissue. And there's this lovely tissue that we have. The one that has the lovely scent is patterned in the floor.
You still buy the expensive kind.
So when you open it fresh in your toilet, everywhere smells so nice.
See, ladies and gentlemen, you can tell that Uwa has older children. When you live in a house with little children who literally can run the roll halfway across the house,
Or dump it in the toilet bowl.
do you know how many times that has happened? I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, how did this whole roll get in the toilet? You buy the cheap kind when you have little children. Yes.
Okay, let's move on to what we found in the news. Who are we starting with? Jennifer, let's start with you. We've missed you.
Okay, so the news I found is that they are banning the Big Brother Nigerian housemates from smoking. They said that they are violating one of the rules, section something, I can't remember what section that is in the law. So they said basically you're not allowed to promote, sponsor or advertise anything that has to do with tobacco. on national television because you have kids who are watching, and then Big Brother is their target customers basically are the youths. So they say that if the housemates keep smoking, they are painting a bad image, and this is not allowed. So I think those tobacco and cigarette smokers will have to stop smoking going forward.
If I may step in, I think I've seen the program, but I have never seen anyone smoking.
No, you don't watch it enough. I have never seen it, but I think that we need another ladies' night out just to discuss Big Brother and
I've only heard them talk about it, maybe when they're shopping, but not actually doing it, you know, on air.
I don't watch the show. These few clips I've seen flying around, at least I've seen.
She doesn't watch it enough.
She watches. It's not me that don't watch.
But of late, I haven't been watching enough, but like I said.
Is it really so much of a problem for us? Because they keep on, even the owners of this program keep on saying that 18 and above, then you as a parent, you have parental control. It's not like it's something that comes in your face. You have to literally go and look for the channel to watch it. I have never sat down to watch it.
Kids will watch it because it's the thing that everybody's talking about. So if you're not someone who's particular in your household about what your kids watch,
exposed to,
they will watch it because it's just like those things when we're growing up. Oh, you're not allowed to watch this at home, but you get to school, everybody's talking about it. So kids will watch it. For me, like I said, I would like us to one day discuss the whole Big Brother phenomenon because I mean I think it's doing more harm than good. But the entertainment industry
is not so bad. It's not so bad.
When we see our leaders doing punching gloves, how is that impacting the youth? When we see them...
So I'm not even talking about it from the perspective of fighting. It's more the perspective of overnight success, gateway into the industry.
Minus me.
LC,
minus me.
Because they are the Big Brother fans. So come on.
We'll have a debate for and against.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so Uti, what did you find for us in this?
Okay, so my story is, I was excited when I saw this story. The headline reads, Shipping Firm Begins Ogun Apapa Rail Haulage. So to the residents of Lagos State, who live around the Apapa axis, and in fact for every person who is into import and exportation, there is good news because a company called Hull Blythe has opened a rail hub between at Wasimi, Ewekoro local government of Ogun State, which is a direct rail line to Apapa. So rather than the trucks all coming into Apapa, the freighters will take the what's it called now? The shipping containers by rail to Ogun, and then people, of course, so it makes the cost cheaper up country, it decongests Apapa as well, then they can return the containers back to Apapa the same way free of charge, and then they don't pay demurrage and things like that. So it's really fantastic. They're talking about also expanding it into a full-on dry port. I think that's the second project, and that's happening as well. But I mean, anything that can solve the road problem that we have in Nigeria, anything that can help Apapa become more inhabitable. So it has the capacity to move 7,000 20-foot units from Apapa to Ogun by rail. So imagine how many trucks and things that is taking off the road. Exactly. They don't have to come all the way to Lagos, particularly those that are going up country. So I was very excited to read this. I hope that we can keep it going. I hope that people will patronize the rail rather than the road, and
absolutely,
maybe changes.
This is actually beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Issy.
Okay, my story is on, actually when I saw the story, it was a bit laughable to me. I felt it was a big joke, but let me just take it. It says Nigeria plans to manufacture planes before Buhari's tenure ends in 2023.
Why are you laughing?
It's hilarious. Anyway, I think it's another white elephant.
Uncle, just read what it is, because don't give me any distance.
So the FG says local production would facilitate Nigeria's growth as regional aviation superpower, and the federal government hopes to start manufacturing planes before the end of the president Muhammadu Buhari's tenure.
The Keke Napep that we are riding, that the mechanism for Keke Napep is very easy. Any good mechanical engineering student can manufacture that. Have we manufactured that?
No, you are talking of have we the cars that we put duty on.
I didn't go to car. I was very specific about keke napep because the mechanism for keke napep is easier.
So even we haven't even
plain.
Plain.
Let's
So
talk about the national.
Will you go in?
Who? Aviation. Aviation, that they said that the national carrier for Nigeria, at least we have US, we have the British Airways, we have Kenya Airways, we have South African Airways, but even ordinary Nigerian Airways we do not have. We don't have a national carrier, and they're talking about building.
That's why they want to build the plane.
Building.
Cannot have a national carrier.
They said that it will run on petrol. Yes.
On petrol. Not aviation fuel.
Please take your story.
So,
Jennifer, is that the plane that will bring you back from Abuja to Lagos?
you see why it's hilarious, you know?
No, but it's actually funny. You've not even manufactured the smallest of things. You want to go all the way to aircraft.
Like I said.
So you first of all crawl before you walk.
You know when you say that, that's actually funny because don't we import toothpicks?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you now. I said that's where I started with keke. I even said keke. Even your grinding machine. Can you manufacture those things first?
Refineries are not even working to the optimum.
No, refinery is plenty money.
Let me take my story. It's actually linked to what we're talking about today. So that's why I actually took, and I would say further during when I'm reading my script. It says APC governor urges Buhari to declare state of emergency on security. This is the governor of Zamfara State, Bello Matawali. He was saying this, that the federal government has to declare state of emergency, that where we are right now, it's almost looking like everything is going out of hand, you know, and the only available avenue of ending this increasing security challenges at hand is, you know, declaring a state of emergency. I'll stop there because we'll continue the conversation. That's what we're talking about today. And when we come back from the break, we'll go into the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us now. Governor Bello Matawali of Zamfara State has urged the federal government to declare a state of emergency on security. The governor, under the ruling All Progressive Congress, gave the advice when he received the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara, Ali Janga, on a courtesy call on Wednesday in Gusau. Mr. Matawali said declaring a state of emergency was the only available avenue of ending the increasing security challenges at hand. He said no one feels safe anymore, and the only way to return the country on the path of sanity is to act out of the box, he stressed. Now, tonight we want to review our security in our neighborhoods by asking how safe are you, and what are the security measures in place in your area, if you even have any. And please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. We'll open our phone lines at the second half, but just bear with us, send your messages at the point now. All right, so I don't know where to start from. When I saw this, I said, God have mercy. Like, can we continue to just stop all of these things that has to do with, you know, saying all the things that we need to say to make it look like, you know.
Talk is cheap.
You know, talk is cheap. The real issues here is that every single time somebody is being slaughtered in their sleep, we heard of the stories that happened in Jos, in Plateau State, where the people had to carry the 35 or 38 bodies to the National Assembly to say, please stop this. I mean, we've talked about several issues when it comes to security over and over again. So tonight we just really want to ask, you know, maybe we'll start from everyone here. Do you really feel safe, you know, just living in your neighborhood? You know, let me come to you, Uti.
No. Well, so safety is an illusion. That's what I call it, because you have people who feel they have personal security. All these, what's the thing that's banned now on the roads? The motorcades or whatever. Escorts, thank you. Safety is largely an illusion for all of us, because safety comprises of so many things. You know, I think about it when we drive on the road that today, if you got into an accident, odds are there probably isn't a doctor qualified enough to treat you. That's a degree and a measure of how safe you are. Then if you come to the fact that right now, when you're driving on the road, your head is constantly on a swivel. You see a traffic light, and the question is not whether you should stop. Your question is whether it's safe enough to stop. So even the insecurity sometimes forces you to break the law because it's unsafe to stop at the traffic light. Then you add in all the various factors that we're dealing with in Nigeria. I mean, we talked about some of it yesterday. The different criminal groups continue to proliferate. Terrorists, bandits, herdsmen. If you come into the intercities, then you talk about the area boys, you talk about the gangs, the beggars. It's an illusion. It's a very good illusion because depending on where you are, you can almost convince yourself that you are safe. I remember during the riots, the NSAS. I remember saying, Ikoyi is so safe, Ikoyi is so safe. Then the prison break right in the center of the same Ikoyi or the attempted prison break. So it's an illusion. And how much you believe the illusion is down to your personal circumstances and situations. Because some people are happy to be on the road at 2 a.m. I used to be one of those people, but I rearranged to say, you know what? As soon as it's dark, I'd rather be home. If I have to be out when it's dark, trust me, when I'm driving home, you don't want to step in front of my car by mistake because I don't want to know.
Uti, so what you said is beautiful. You want to be home, make sure you're done, this, that. People have been killed. Right?
In their homes, I know.
How do you make sense?
That's the illusion of it. Yeah. So my illusion is that I'm home. For some people, home is just as unsafe.
Let me come to you, Isidi, and come to Jennifer.
Well, Uti has practically said it all. And the key thing is that we do not understand the whole concept of illusion and safety currently. We are living in a bubble. We feel that we are safe, but in actual fact, are we really safe? The other day I was going back home after the show. I got stuck in traffic. I didn't get home. I notified you. I didn't get home until close to 12 a.m. And what happened was this, that vehicles from this side were coming in and the opposite side were also. So at the end of it, there was a gridlock. Nobody was able to move. All I could think of at that particular point in time was, how do I turn back so that in case there's a robbery, I don't find myself being a victim of one. So we're not safe. You might be in your house, you might be on the road, you might be in your car, you might be in an office. Anything can happen. The other day, we got the story, wasn't that earlier this year or sometime in the middle of this year, where people were in a barbing salon in broad daylight and armed robbers actually walked into the place and raided the place. Were they safe? They felt safe when they were there. But in actual fact, were they safe? In the supermarket, they went into the supermarket to get some groceries, and what happened? They were attacked. They were robbed. So nobody is safe. Nobody knows when anything can happen or when they can be attacked by anyone. And when you're in the car, like Uti said, you see a traffic light, the first thing that comes to your head is,
I don't stop at night. I'm not like.
Can I see anybody around?
Tickets.
Is there an entity around that might, attack me? You have to be conscious of every single thing, even if it's a fly that flies by the window. It is essential that we know that nothing is cast in stone right now.
This safety we're talking about. I was driving my mom. I took her somewhere this evening, so I was driving her back home, and I just saw a group of boys at that Abraham. I just saw her come in and all of that. I said,
Absolutely.
See, if anything should happen now, these are the first people that will pick up stones, smash
straight up
your windows down so they can rob or do whatever it is. And these are people that constantly they are on that road. I mean, Admiralty, I hear that they wanted to erect a gate because I was passing which day, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I can't remember.
Brought down.
They demolished, I saw the government officials there demolishing that gate. But you haven't provided an alternative security for these people. These people are trying to see, how can we put up measures, to secure the place? Because that Freedom Way is a very horrible place to drive at night. I never, ever go through that road
Even
ever
during
again.
the day, I try not to go through it.
So, but let me hear Jennifer's thoughts, then I'll come back again.
Yeah.
Jennifer. But first of all, you have to explain. You're in Abuja now, so what's happening first in Abuja first?
In Abuja, I've not really heard anything in terms of insecurity, and I think that's because most of the people I know here, once we're done with work, we're back in our houses. We just stay indoor. But aside that, I've not really heard anything. But I know that for Lagos, I think the day it really dawned on me how insecure we are was the day my friend was coming back in the evening from work. So I think she stopped somewhere to get food, and it was that same Admiralty Way. Her house is close to, is off Freedom Way, so she was just walking home. And then she noticed that two guys from each side of the road were trying to come close to her. At first she thought, okay, probably the other guy on the other side was just trying to cross. But she kept on walking. So she was using her side eye to look at her side, and then to also be very conscious of what's going on. And then she noticed that they both came together, they said something, then they started walking fast. So they were almost coming to grab her when she screamed, and then she started running. So they were chasing her. She saw a restaurant, and then she entered inside. And then she was panicking. So the security guys in the restaurant had to come out to chase the guys and all of that, and then they just disappeared. They didn't even know where they ran to. And then she called us. She just said that she was really panicking because she was very close to home, and it was so scary. And I was like, oh my God. So and the reason why she was walking on the road was because there was serious traffic. It was total hold up. The cars were not moving. So she said, okay, my house is not very far from here. I think I can just come down, buy food, and then walk home. And that was the story we had. And everybody, we were all very scared because you don't know. Sometimes you think, okay, it's just stopping in traffic or coming out in the middle of the night. This was about 6:30 p.m. and it was still a little bit bright, and they were trying to kidnap her around that time. And then you know how Nigerians can be. Nigerians always have this attitude of, it's not my business, I don't care. As far as it's not happening to me, I don't want to know. They can actually just walk by. People will actually see you getting kidnapped or being robbed, and they will just walk away and not do anything about it. You're basically just on your own. And I think that took a very big toll on me and my friends, because we're like, oh my God, this is not a very safe place to be in right now. But yeah, at the end of the day, everyone is just, okay, God save us, God save us. It's all blood of Jesus that we're doing at the end of the day.
This thing didn't actually start today. It has been happening, it has degenerated to this level because of the fact that there have been no accountability, no repercussions for individuals who have been caught, perpetrating this evil and these acts. So it is essential that we know that it's not because of what is happening now. It has been in existence, but now it's glaring. They're now
I think the economic factor, but I don't know that I agree with that, though.
Now.
It's not a case of no repercussion, because, I remember as far back as 2013.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that was the first time I heard I didn't know what their name was. I didn't know if they were called SARS or whatever, but that was the first time I heard a police officer say that in Lagos, if they catch you with a gun, there is no judge, there's no jury. They take you somewhere, they shoot you, they throw you in a grave, and you're done. So it wasn't a case of no repercussions.
Yeah.
The insecurity, for me, has always gone hand in hand with our economic situation in terms of its gravity. Because this situation that you just narrated about the salon, it was so rampant in the early 90s. Remember then, you go to the salon, you literally are sat there. I remember then, my sister stopped taking wallet or anything. It wasn't even so much phones at the time, but no wallet, no nothing. She would just take the money for her to pay, and she would go, because it was so common. There were certain salons in Festac then, they were robbed almost like every other month. So it was a common thing. Now, if you go further back into the 80s, it was common. We lived not too far from a very big petrol station. That was the burning joint.
Yeah.
The minute you shout "Ole," tire has come out, petrol, fiam.
So there
they've
is
lit the
jungle
person on fire.
justice.
Yes.
But currently,
So-
do you think we have something like that currently?
We do. We still
do.
have it. You just don't see it in your neighborhood, but it does still happen. So the fact is, this thing has always been with us. Armed robbery has always been with us. It's
agree.
just in different degrees. I mean, back in the 80s, it was cutlass. They used to smash your window. These days,
Yeah.
it's so.
A
I
brick,
find that
anything.
most robberies in traffic are crimes of opportunity. If they see the opportunity, particularly when you're distracted, maybe your phone is on display, they can quickly smash and grab, they will do it. So
Yeah.
we keep seeing, there was a time, if you take the tail end of the, maybe say 2008, 2009, when everything was booming, crude prices were high,
Yeah.
everybody was returning to Nigeria, there was safety. I remember then I would leave my house at 11:45 just to go and watch a movie. Movies then at Silverberry there was a midnight movie. We had a relative level of safety. So we go through these ebbs and flows, of actually
Safety
having crime and safety. But if you look at our figures today, how many people are unemployed? How many people don't have money, can't eat? The exchange rate, all of these things contribute to the fact that hungry people.
You know how many people
commit crime.
sent me messages last week, even into this week, of I need money, I need money. In my head, I'm now saying, who will I send message to that I need money? Do you understand? Because everybody just see you and they assume that you have money. And they feel, and this is the mindset of criminals. They just see you driving a fancy car and everything should be fine. Even I was going to add to that robbery. There was a time that it was very constant. They used to rob, what's it called, fuel stations, gas stations, because they were always liquid. They had money all the time.
True. That's when they started closing earlier.
They started closing earlier and all of that. I remember even when there was a time my mom's restaurant, an armed robber came, I wanted to steal money, but me, I was too smart for the guy, But I'm just saying that these things have been there. But these were one-offs. It's not now like every other night people are complaining. There's a particular spot in Alakpere. One area in Alakpere, it's a constant case. There was a time that every time you're coming down 3rd Mainland Bridge, you must be robbed on that Alakpere junction. And there was a police station right beside it. So when they are done robbing, you go to report, police will just, and all of that, they tell you that it's not their jurisdiction, it's a Sharia and all of those drama. Wait, let me even finish. Even at that point, there's also housing estates there that it's almost a constant. They go to rob them. So the point I'm trying to ask is, security, that we're having, the insecurity that we're having today, the challenges that we're having with our security structure today, how is the police, how are they aiding? Because it doesn't seem like they are even, there's even any level of willingness to fight it off, because it's not even happening. I was on the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway just last week. Even I did the video, I just did not post it.
Okay.
This same thing that the protest happened about SARS, and it was still happening. I called you that night now, where they came, hijacked one boy, they were going like criminals. Now you cannot differentiate between a policeman and a criminal, because the actions, the way they act is almost similar. So where is the security in the neighborhood if the people that are supposed to be the ones, securing you are acting like this?
And invading your privacy at night. So look, the police, I have to give it up to the police. They do their job when they can. But we have a problem with the police. And what is the problem? We do not feel safe with them around us sometimes because of the attitude that they have exhibited, or some of the bad eggs in the police sector have exhibited, where we see individuals say that they have been robbed by policemen themselves. So those that are supposed to protect you are the ones now robbing you. And who do you now run to? We had the case of individual, I think you told that story way back, where an individual said that the phone was missing, and they took and they were able to track the guy down.
And the police say, I can't cross this
place,
junction.
but I can't cross that place. That's the one-off story, because
I think that is why there's a rise. But let me come to Jennifer, because they said that she's been quiet for a bit. Jennifer.
Okay.
So, I agree with what everyone said, especially what it says that is the economic status currently in the country. The truth is, you have people who haven't gone to schools and they're trying to make ends meet. Then you also have those people who have actually graduated. You have your BSc, you have your masters, and you're also still struggling with even the people who haven't gone to school. You're struggling to get a job. You're struggling to make ends meet. You're trying to, even if it's to get a menial job, it is very difficult. I know that sometimes people can say, oh, you can actually just do something. Don't be lazy. Go out, go and do something. But it's actually not that easy. It's not easy. It's either you go out, they give you a job that is paying you peanuts. By the time you enter the Lagos traffic and you get home, at the end of the month, you don't really have any savings left. You have nothing for upkeep. You're practically just struggling to live. And I know that that is not an excuse, but the truth is that the economic standard needs to increase. It needs to get better. It needs to be a place where people are happy to live in. People actually just want to survive. It's actually very annoying. And then every time in the news, you see headlines that make no sense. We saw the headline about cattle, and I'm wondering, like, is that what we need right now? See the one we took today about airplanes. Is that what we need? Are we asking you for new airplanes? The ones we have is enough. Even the ones we have, they've not been properly maintained. And you're trying to build another one. We are not safe. And then nobody is saying anything about it. Wasn't it the other day we saw in the news where the Buhari was trying to fire the, I think, who was it trying to fire?
It doesn't make any difference. They're all the same.
You're trying to fire him. Okay, who do you want to put in? Who else? Who can we trust to say, okay, in the next few months or in the next 1 year, the country is going to get safe, or when you're leaving your home in the morning, you feel better. Or weren't you there the other day, our makeup artist? She came to work, and then we saw her eyes swollen. What happened? She was leaving home, and she was coming to the studio, and she was attacked. She was so scared. And then the other day, somebody mentioned how the supermarket close to the studio was robbed. She went there to buy something, and she found out that they were actually robbing the supermarket. And it wasn't even at night. Broad daylight.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Broad daylight. So this time around, it's really not about night movement or you stay in your house. I mean, look at the store owners. They were in their market and they were in their stores going about their business, and they were robbed. You as a customer, you are walking in, you don't even know what is happening.
That's why, do you know that I actually avoid
you're going there to get groceries.
I avoid banks, so anywhere there's money,
you're going there, and there's nothing.
You know what, let's take a break, because we need to open our phone line. We just go quickly, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Now, if you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out, and we're asking, how safe are we, and what's your neighborhood looking like? Now, this is the time for you to tell us what is exactly happening in your neighborhood, because we really want to hear. Please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Our phone line is now open. You can call us on 07025007749. Please, when you call, turn off the volume of your TV. When you keep hearing yourself, it delays. Please turn off the volume of your television set. It's 07025007749. All right, Uti, you were going to say something before we went on the break.
I was going to say that we're on a precipice of, this insecurity issue. I keep thinking about it, and, for as long as I can remember, at one point, all the security guards, like you mentioned yesterday, were Northerners. That's what I grew up with as a child, on Northerners. Before we had all this, this concept of security guards, uniform security, is a relatively new concept. We had that. I remember when Lekki just started to develop, security here was all OPC. Every neighborhood pays for OPC. So we've never had a point in time where we haven't, as individuals, had to take some measure of security to protect ourselves. Now, that measure is having to grow. We've come into the point now where we're talking about living in gated estates. We've talking about security guards. there's so many things that the average Nigerian has to contemplate. I remember I used to think that One Chance was a movie. I thought that it was over, that didn't used to happen anymore. Until I went back to working in a contact center where I was working with a large volume of young people who leave home and take public transport first thing in the morning. And I was shocked that almost on a monthly basis, one person would have a robbery incident where I've had people being slapped at bus stops, bag being collected. There was actually a girl who, her husband had literally just walked her from the house to the bus stop. As she said bye to her husband and turned around, the guy standing behind her literally just poked her in the back so she could feel the tip of the knife. And the guy said, "Give me your bag." Her husband was, just what I mean? And so we've always had this situation. Now, when Jennifer talked about the government, me personally, it's either the government has given up or there is a benefit. Because it's not a direct benefit, because you can't say that every single person that is committing crime right now, the government is benefiting. But there must be something, because this is a national outcry. Nobody is exempt anymore. I mean, if you're getting robberies in Lekki, if you're getting robberies in Ikoyi, you're getting robberies on the mainland, wherever you go right now, you'd be certified insane if you thought you were safe.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I find that when we start to talk about security, and I always say, look, see, you just do what you can. Personally, whatever it is, thank you. Whatever you can, whether it's that your glass is protected, smash and grab, whether I have decoy phone. It's not so bad now. At one point, I used to have decoy bag because the beating is on a different level when you don't have something to give them. There was a time I was robbed.
You know, there was a guy that I heard that told me that I have armed robber money in my car.
Yes.
Constant.
Because the beating is extra. I remember a time when the armed robbers were patient enough to allow you to remove your SIM card from your phone. Then you give them your phone.
They even make use of the SIM card now.
But now it's like, because of all your bank stuff and all that, so you have to have a decoy phone, you have to have a decoy bag. I have literally been robbed in traffic before where nobody around me knew that I was being robbed. Not the people in front of me, not the people to either side of me. It was a military guy who was 2 cars down who noticed that what's going on, and he came and said, "Hey," and they took off. So when we
Smashed my glass.
so when we talk about security, this question, how safe are we, on a scale of 1 to 10?
You know what you said. Even you remember there was an incident that happened in Ikoyi, where it was the electrician. Because I want to take it back again to the economic situation of the country. You know, expanding this insecurity.
The problem.
Remember, there was a story that the electrician came and told them that he was trying to fix that something was wrong, and they killed the man right in his house in Ikoyi. I think his wife as well. They killed all of them. So this security situation that we're talking about, even when you have trusted people that have worked with you, artisans,
you can never be too careful
again, because you do not know what they're going through, and maybe they just looked at it that this person, I think I can get something from it. That's why you hear the cases of drivers murdering their bosses has increased. The cases of house helps trying to poison, because we saw. You see videos everywhere. House help trying to poison the employees so that they can, probably get whatever it is they want to get and run away.
They can actually get away with it.
So we are really not safe, and it's sad that, like you rightly said, it's a national outcry, and it seems like nothing is being done. Well, just everybody's left in the hands of God for us.
Aside from the fact that we have issues with the neighborhood, we have the story of them breaking into NDA and cutting away some people and killing some individuals as well, or officers in the process, and nobody has said a word about it. The government hasn't said anything. The government is the president. That's where I'm coming to. The president hasn't said a word about it. That's something we should also look at, because if the president has said, there will be repercussions for individuals who have perpetrated this act. And another thing we should also look at is, cool down. Another thing we should look at is the fact that they would have been able to do that. You talked about the the house helps attacking their bosses. Is the rat inside the house? There's a saying that is the rat inside the house that informs outsiders that, look, there is something here for us to go into. So if they had gone into the NDA and they were able to do what they did at NDA without, anybody coming after them immediately, then there is a problem. Somebody within the NDA did this and carried out that act.
I don't even know that. I mean, you would have to be looking for something specific in the NDA for you to say that it was an inside job. I mean, I know there are people who say, yes, it was an inside job and as part of it. But,
an inside job.
I asked myself, I mean, I don't know. We haven't, in the stories that I've seen, I haven't heard anything like, ammunitions were carted away or something. But you find that when there's an inside job, then there is something to gain. And I understand that the two officers the two people who lost their lives were not particularly senior officers. So I asked myself, what did they stand to gain?
Okay, so I think this is why I was giving that illustration of Alakpere, saying that for the longest of time, once you are descending Third Mainland Bridge at a certain time, just be sure, be ready that there's armed robber waiting for you at that junction.
Alakpere is a Waroshokia, right?
Yes, and just not far from there's a police station. The reason I brought that illustration is, you said there's something to gain. You said something about the government, the president, the body language of the president. Is the body language of leadership or security personnel not telling that it is okay for, if you can defend yourself?
Which of ministers was that said we're cowards, that people should defend themselves? Which is why I say that you don't get any inclination from the government today that this security issue is a pressing issue, because whether it's the fact that we think, okay, we're distracted by other things, so it's not that important, let's leave it until, there's no way to go. Because look at what has happened in the northeast of the country. Jokingly, it has become uninhabitable. Look at what happened in the southeast recently. Everywhere you look, it's like there's no authority. There's no gatekeepers, as we call them, there to do the job. So everybody's building higher fences, getting more security. People are buying guns now to keep at home. It's
when we were growing up, remember they used to do, I don't know if they used to do it in South. In Kaduna State, there was a particular place. They would carry us to go and watch how they would hang armed robbers in poles and they would shoot them.
It happened in Benin as well.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So we used to watch them kill armed robbers. So they say if you steal, that's your fate.
That's what will happen to you.
So when Isi was talking about repercussion and all of that, because the level of free reign, let us just be doing it as we. Do you understand? It's like
been too long.
Yeah, but that level of repercussion, that's what got us to where we got to with SARS, because that's the approach the police took. Like I said, the idea was that if I catch you with a weapon, there's no judge, there's no jury, let's not waste time, just die.
But at the end of the day,
it was meant to be a deterrent. Yes, but
now ended up abusing that power and authority that was given to them.
But here's my question.
Who is safe?
No, but here's my question.
At the end of the day,
if SARS had continued, so say they had not veered off to become the monster they became.
They're humans.
If they continue to do that, would it have still made it acceptable?
You know what? Let's take a call. We'll answer that question. Mohammed from Bauchi State, I believe. Thank you for calling us.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yes, I just want to make 2 corrections.
Okay, go ahead.
Concerning the second lady that spoke earlier, on whether the president has spoken about insecurity in Bauchi. He did make a statement concerning the NDA intrusion by the unknown government. He did speak. And again, the other lady, the last that spoke, concerning security in the northeast. As you can see, I'm calling from Bauchi. And Bauchi is in the northeast. But the northeast has never been more safer today compared to 2014, because you can see last Salah we celebrated Doba in Maiduguri, and as a former banker, I remember in 2014, almost all banks were closed in the Northeast, but now they are open. People go to the market without fear of bombing, without fear of killing by Boko Haram. And you can see that Boko Haram are surrendering. Just today, 120 Boko Haram members and their leader surrendered. And even day for yesterday, the multi-task force,
Joint task force, yeah?
they killed 43 Boko Haram members. So we should try to appreciate what this government is doing. And again, by Monday, is it Monday or Tuesday, the president will be launching the 6 Super Tucano aircraft that will be used to fight this insurgency. And no government has spent more on security than this government. So we should appreciate our government.
Thank you. I mean, that's a good feedback from me. It's good that you're telling us what is happening in your neighborhood, and we're happy that there's some level of progress. If he's not saying, if it's not what he's reporting isn't correct, somebody else from your region should call and counter.
So I mean, it's great to get that kind of feedback, but perhaps we are conditioned to appreciate the little things. Because when you are saying it's better, are you getting up to go to Bauchi today? Are you getting up to go to Zamfara? Are you getting up to go to Kaduna?
Not at all.
These are places that we all used to go to.
And I know a lot of people relocating from Bauchi, relocating from Jos, relocating down either to Abuja or other places.
Have we gotten to a point where we are safe, where these places, if your job today said they were moving you to Bauchi, would you
be comfortable?
We have a lot of Mohammeds today from Kaduna, but I wanted to hear Jennifer, but let me take Mohammed from Kaduna first. Thank you, Mohammed. Let's hear what's happening in Kaduna State. How safe are you?
Honestly, we can't, just from assume we don't know of country. Like speaking of Nasi, whenever I'm coming, people would say, "Oh, be careful with, be careful," and I'll be thinking, "Oh,
sorry, Mohammed, you might need to call back. Sorry, we really cannot make sense of what you're saying." Jennifer, you went to Bauchi recently, right?
What'd you say?
You were in Bauchi State recently.
Yes, no. I went to Zaria.
Okay, Zaria. Okay.
I went to Zaria. I really can't say. Okay, so when we were supposed to leave Abuja to Zaria, a lot of people, even the people we're going to see in Zaria, had to tell us you must not come by road. And then we said, oh, we had our own security detail, and they said, no, do not try it. That would rather you go by train. Come by train and also leave by train. Do not go by road. But some of my colleagues came by road, but I went with my clients by train. Then when we were coming back to Abuja, I also used train, and then some people went by road. And I think one of the security cars broke down. Immediately it broke down. Everybody started panicking. I got calls and I was asking what's going on, because our dispatch from the company had told us, okay, something like this had happened, that they don't know what they will do. Other people just parked their car, they entered the car and they left them, because nobody wanted to be on that road at the time. And funny enough, I met another client of mine who came to the office, and we were discussing about my trip to Zaria. And then he mentioned how he has one of his colleagues that goes to Kaduna almost, I think, every week. And then there was a time he traveled, I think it was even recently also, like a month or two ago. And then he said that he passed some places, some towns where you would actually see burnt cars, burnt houses. People were just being killed. And I was like, oh my God, like this is actually very, very, very scary. Okay. And I'm so glad that I went by train. I don't think I want to go by road.
Let me quickly just take OK from Lagos, I think. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you for calling. Let's hear what you have to say.
I was on the program yesterday when you had, I think it should be a consultant who came in yesterday.
Yes.
And people talked about the issue of insecurity, and he was saying the problem of the country is, the way we think in Nigeria, because I know that was exactly what he was actually saying.
Yeah.
Before one of you corrected him, that the problem of the country there is the insecurity we are talking about. It has nothing to do with our mindset. The system already we have is not working for now. Like the caller who just called again from the north, who was talking of Nigerian government buying jet fighters to solve the problem of crime. Presently now in Lagos State alone, the robbery in Yanoba, Orile, Mile 2, between 7 and 8 every day, it's alarming.
Thank you.
There is no way you can be coming back from Mile 2 going to Okoko. Once it is between 7:15, 7:20, I'm telling you, you are just going through Bermuda Triangle.
Thank you.
It's as if you get into that point, you may not even get to your destination, because the kind of people you meet there, how they are robbing people there. In fact, it is only God that will help this country.
Thank you, okay. I mean, this is the kind of, we need to hear what is happening in your neighborhood, because sometimes it seems when we're talking, it seems like we're just trying to attack. Nobody's trying to attack the government. If they have a clear picture of what people on the streets are going through, maybe you will now rethink some of these security votes and monies that you say you're spending, because that was what that first caller was talking about, Mohammed, that this is the first government that has spent so much money on security.
With what outcome?
What is the output? What is the result? You know?
And yet people are not safe, even if the government has spent so much.
Peter from Benin. Sorry, you know when we open. Sorry.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you. Quickly, let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, wonderful program. Where do we go from here? Latin take over.
Well, tell us first of all, how is Benin? How safe is Benin?
You cannot even travel Benin with your road up on my road now. It's bad. It's bad. So these are the issues. If the president wants to solve this problem, let him lead by example. Let him take his official car with his security and drive that Abuja Kaduna road for like 1 week. Let the people see that the president is empathetic about their plight. And let's see the bandit or the person that has 7 head and wants to attack the president of a mighty country like this. Then let's start to question the security vote that these governors they have everywhere. You see, I'm an analyst. From what is on ground there, I don't see us solving this problem in the next 50 years. We just be praying to God, Holy Spirit, which will definitely not come down, but we have to take our destiny in our own hands. I've seen the SAP riots, I've seen the June 12 riots, I've seen the SARS riots, but one day, maybe this country will change. Let's just keep on just praying that the country change. There's nothing we can do. Every evening we'll be coming on television, we'll speak good English, nothing will happen.
Thank you so much, Peter.
This program to 1 hour 30 minutes, please.
1 hour 30, you have come again. Quickly, let's take some comments. It's sad. We've run out of time.
Okay, so we have
Ade.
What's it called? From Ade, says, good evening, spicy ladies. You all look stunning, thank you. Insecurity in Nigeria, especially northern parts, is the work of our leaders and politicians. The killing and kidnapping of citizens doesn't move them at all. Today, statistics show that Nigeria's GDP grew by 5.2% and nothing to show for it on an average Nigerian table. This is political statistics, the result in a country fighting insecurity and unemployment in the land. We need to introduce late J.J. Rawlings' action as performed in Ghana on our self-centered and greedy politicians. They are birds of the same feather and they flock together. That's from Ade.
Okay, there's no name here, and it says, in Nigeria today, nowhere is safe except where God wants you to be. The leadership seems clueless at the moment.
As well. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Uti. Thank you. You see, I think we need to bring back this conversation. I would really love for us to be able to maybe open our phone lines longer, let people call from different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It's important for them to hear. Now, before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram. It's at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment. More importantly, we're planning a giveaway to say thank you to you for believing in the Ways brand and following the conversation. Thank you to everyone that keeps calling and sending in messages. We really appreciate you. So if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Safety and security don't just happen. They are the result of collective consensus and public investment. We owe our children, the most vulnerable citizens in our society, a life free of violence and fear. It's from Nelson Mandela. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Enjoy.